technician at Yale School of Management is going to present about the selection process and maybe major of the management and MBA. Asset management, yeah, and then we hope that a lot of Indonesia maybe can go to Yale, yeah, Miss, yeah. So hopefully you can show us about the program, maybe the golden ticket, maybe how to get to Yale University, as many people is going to go to Yale. So maybe you
Yes.
can give us the golden ticket for Indonesian. So Mrs. Julie, so you have 30 minutes to present your presentation. Please feel free. And then if there is a question in Bahasa, I will transcribe it to you so you can answer with English, and then I will transcribe it in Indonesia. So yeah, just take your time. Thank you, Miss Julie.
Wonderful. And I'd like to start by thanking everyone for inviting me to come speak today. I'm honored to be here and excited to talk to you about two of our programs at the Yale School of Management. First is the Master's in Asset Management program, and second is the MBA. I think if possible, I'd like to share my screen. I'm doing that right now. Bear with me. Can everyone see that? Okay.
Yes, yes.
And
you
so
can
you
go
see
ahead.
the Yale School of Management. Perfect. Thank you so much. So again, hello and welcome. My name is Julie Dahlquist, and I serve as the Senior Associate Director of Admission here at the Yale School of Management. Thank you again for having me. I'm honored to be here. And I'd like to thank you for joining me today to learn about kind of what makes the Yale School of Management such an immersive and distinctive experience. My goal this evening or this morning for you is to provide a general overview of both the Master's in Asset Management program and the MBA at Yale School of Management, and to provide some insight into the application processes. So I don't know if you'll consider that a golden ticket per se, but I will be kind of relaying some kind of tips and tricks to possibly help you with the process. So let's get things started, and I'll begin by really speaking about something that we're very passionate about at Yale, and it's our school's mission to educate leaders for business and society. So a common thread in candidates who apply to the Yale School of Management is the desire for change and to have a greater impact. Our mission to educate, I think somebody might be off mute. Yes. Our mission to educate leaders for business and society really resonates with our students, and they care about being both successful in their careers and also having a positive impact on society. The mission means our aim is to really develop leaders who have the ability to think broadly about the challenges we face in an increasingly complex world, and who have the ability to be decision makers in this type of environment where we have to consider multiple stakeholders, influencers, and consequences. We believe our mission has really never been more relevant. So that said, and a little tip on our mission, and before I begin to review the particulars of the first two programs, the one-year Master's in Asset Management, I'd like to back up just a bit and give a very general explanation to the question of what is asset management. Put very simply, asset management is the practice of increasing wealth over time through the buying and selling and trading of assets. So professionals in the asset management space provide this service for others, balancing risk and reward through a variety of strategies while working with their clients to provide the most favorable outcome. Asset management clients include high net worth individuals, government entities, corporations, and institutional investors like colleges and pension funds. And there are many different avenues for employment that fall under the umbrella of asset management. Some include various types of investment analysts and research analysts, portfolio and fund managers, private wealth managers, just to name a few. Endowments and hedge funds, private equity funds are a small sampling of the types of employers that are dealing in the asset management space, and that's where our students really go post-program. So now I'd like to just spend a few minutes giving an overview of the Master's in Asset Management program itself. So it's important to understand where this program came from. The Master's in Asset Management program was created by Toby Moskowitz, the Dean Takahashi Professor of Finance, in partnership with David Swenson, the late Chief Investment Officer for the Yale Investments Office and the pioneer of the Yale model of endowment management. So the two of them saw a real need and a demand for a finance program devoted to asset management that combines the best of academic theory and practice. Their vision really was to merge the perspectives and expertise of top finance scholars with leading investment managers, and results in a truly, truly unique curriculum. This is a 9-month quant-focused degree program, and it's targeted for early career candidates, more specifically, early in your asset management career. The majority of the students that come to us and study in this 9-month program have 0 to 3 years of full-time work experience. So divided into core curriculum and elective classes, most of the core courses are taught by top-ranked SOM finance faculty who are pursuing cutting-edge research across a wide variety of topics. And most electives are taught by leading investment managers who are in the field navigating real-life market conditions and challenges in their day job. So it's really amazing. These people will come and work a full day job in asset management, and then come and teach at Yale at night. So it's really, they have the pulse on the market, and they are really able to kind of give our students exactly what's going on that day, what they're seeing that day. So no one else really has a program developed in partnership with their university's endowment, the Yale Investments Office, which is recognized by the industry as the pioneer and leader of modern endowment investing. Because of Yale's unique in-house expertise, external connections to industry, and access to broader university, we're in a position to offer an extensive and unique slate of course offerings developed specifically for the program. Like quantitative investing, asset pricing theory, machine learning, ESG investing, behavioral finance, and portfolio management, just to name a few. Students are encouraged to take classes not only within the asset management program, but to explore subjects across Yale University in addition to leveraging the wide-reaching Yale alumni network. We also offer an asset management colloquium, which gives you unparalleled access to industry leaders across a range of relevant fields who come to Yale in an intimate setting and speak directly to the students of this program. This is really an amazing part. Industry leaders come in and they sit, they sit with our 60 students or 60 odd students, and our students ask them everything from, what is the best part of your job? What is the least attractive part of your job? How did you get to where you are? Those are the really personal kind of questions about their journey that you won't get anywhere else. You'll also complete a practical experience requirement of 40 hours in the spring semester, which gives you the opportunity to begin your pivot into industry and really put some of your recently acquired skills to work. I'd also like to mention there is a joint degree option between our Master's in Asset Management and the MBA program. Both degrees are awarded at the end of the 2-year course of study. And students spend the first year at Yale SOM completing the integrated Yale core curriculum, the MBA core curriculum, and the second year as a full-time Master's in Asset Management student participating in both core and elective classes. So it's essentially 2 degrees for the price of 1 and in the time frame of 1.
Yeah, sorry, Mrs. Julie. Okay,
yes.
Your slide is not moving. Oh, okay, it's moving already. Thank you. Sorry
moving now? Okay,
yeah.
Great. Okay. So our Master's in Asset Management program is really highly focused on students' professional success. We have a dedicated career specialist in the Career Development Office who works exclusively with our asset management students, even before the start of fall classes. You'll have access to the Yale network of employment and internship opportunities and proximity to major asset management firms in New York City, Boston, and in the Connecticut corridor, although our students have found employment in a variety of geographic areas. For those of you who geographically aren't familiar with Yale, we are about an hour-and-a-half train ride from New York City. So students can hop right on the local train and be in New York in about an hour-and-a-half. So these are the results. The slide that you're seeing now is for the class of 2023. And as you can see, students really went into a lot of different roles and functional areas of finance from this degree. About 67% remained in the US. The degree is STEM eligible, which means that international students can work in the US for up to 3 years after graduation. About a third of the graduating class decided to pursue opportunities globally, mostly across Asia, Europe, and Australia. There's much more detail on this on our website. I would encourage you to check that out for a list of hiring organizations and more breakdowns of where people have been. So regarding admission for the Master's in Asset Management program, now that I've given you a general overview of the structure of the program, I'd like to give you a sense at a high level of how we're assessing candidates for this program. I'll start by just highlighting the application components listed. I'll pause. They're kind of listed right there on your screen. It's nothing too unusual that you might see in other graduate school applications. I would like to emphasize that the Master's in Asset Management program does require a GMAT or a GRE test score when applying. So if you haven't addressed that yet, you might want to start thinking about that. And moving on to our evaluation process, we're really looking for 3 things when we evaluate students. And I can say, side note, I've been working for Yale for 12 years now, and both on the MBA and the Master's in Asset Management program. And so I have a full seat on the admissions committee. And what I'm about to say is very, very true. So we are looking really for 3 things. Number 1, your academic preparedness with a particular lens of assessing your quantitative preparedness. Number 2, your professional impact and potential as demonstrated through your work experience, extracurricular involvement, and your personal interests. And number 3, your desire to make an impact in the field of asset management immediately after graduating from the program and beyond. Each element of your application aids the admissions committee in our assessment of one or more of these dimensions, and we look at them holistically to pull the information that we need. What this means is that there's no one ideal candidate profile for the Master's in Asset Management program, but rather students can come from a variety of academic and professional backgrounds and find success in the program. It's important to remember that this program is targeted towards early career professionals, and what this really means is early in your asset management career. So whether you're coming directly from your undergraduate experience or you've been working in another field and looking to make a pivot, we expect to see a range in terms of quantity and depth of professional experience, as well as the distance from your academic studies. We'll, as part of the holistic admissions process, we'll rely more heavily on your academic experiences and perhaps your internships or research experiences if you're if you're finishing your last year of university or if you're a recent graduate. If you have more professional experience, we'll incorporate that depth into our review process. And so we're basically evaluating you based on the same overall criteria, but we're meeting you where you are and based on where you are in your trajectory. So wrapping up, to give you a sense of our Master's in Asset Management timeline, we have 1 application cycle for this program. The next available application due date for the class of 2026 will be January 9th, 2025. So this will be for people who wish to start classes in the fall of 2025. The application for this next admission cycle will be available at the end of this week. We are really just putting the final touches on it, and we plan to make it available on our website by the end of this week. So please check our website for access. Okay, and finally, for wrapping up the Master's in Asset Management program, on the bottom of the screen, you'll see our general mailbox for the program. So today, or in the future, if you should have a question about our program components or our application process, This is a great place to log your questions. There are a team of people sitting there and will respond in an intelligent and timely manner. So absolutely take advantage of this mailbox if you have any questions. So now on to the MBA program. So there are three things about the Yale SOM MBA experience that I really want to highlight, and each is very much in support of SOM's overall mission that I mentioned at the top of the presentation, which is to educate leaders for business and society. Number one, we are the business school that is most integrated with its home university. Number two, we are distinctly global. And number three, we aim to be the best source of elevated leaders for all sectors and regions. So let me just briefly tell you kind of what I mean by all of those aspects. When you join, and I think this was kind of brought up in one of the earlier, with one of the earlier speakers in presentations, when you join the Yale SOM community, you also join the Yale University community. This is a connection we feel with both our asset management students and our MBA students should leverage. Our MBA experience strategically creates many opportunities for engagement across campus, giving you access to the sharpest minds in academia, as well as the resources of the world-renowned institution. Perhaps the most prominent example of this is the fact that the second-year curriculum for the MBA program is all electives that you can take in any Yale classroom. And this allows you to customize your curriculum and really expand your network. Another example is our joint degree offering. Any given year, about 10 to 15% of our MBAs are joint degree students, and that's the same for the Master's in Asset Management program. This might be you or someone sitting next to you that will have deep connections and pursuing multiple degrees in another area of expertise, and really adds to the classroom conversation. So we really pride on ourselves on having many participants in our joint degree programs. Other examples include students' access to prominent speakers and events across the Yale campus, Nobel Prize winners, NGO presidents, government leaders, etc., co-hosting conferences and launching startups out of the Sci Center for Innovative Thinking. It's really a hub for entrepreneurship at Yale. We really see value in giving access to our students to customize their curriculum and expand their network and learn from diverse perspectives in areas of expertise. Students at the Yale School of Management benefit from everything Yale University has to offer. I mentioned we are distinctively global. All business schools aim to really teach global business, and some have even developed a partnership with a school or two overseas. But the students at Yale SOM have unique and expansive opportunities to gain global perspective, not only due to what transpires within Yale SOM classrooms, but it's how our students engage with the world that really makes us unique. One of the key drivers behind our global offerings is the Global Network for Advanced Management, or GNAM, we refer to it. This is a network of 32 schools spanning 6 continents that gives our students access to top business schools around the world and each school's comparative advantage. The Global Network for Advanced Management has allowed us to expand our global offerings and really provide our students with the menu of options to fulfill their global studies requirement. In a typical academic year, around 50 global courses are available to SOM students through the 5 different platforms you see here. So there's many different ways to kind of customize your curriculum and choose how you want to fulfill your global studies curriculum. So to provide some specific examples, during our most recent offering, there were 9 international experience courses to choose from in the following locations. We had South Korea, Costa Rica, Uruguay, Kenya, Europe, Bhutan, and Israel. In March of this year, there were 18 Global Network Week courses for our students to choose from, including a course named From Startup to Scale Up. There's another course, Political Economy of Doing Business in Africa at the University of Cape Town, and the race to net zero and transition to clean energy. So there's a wide variety is my point. So Yale's global reach really kind of gives you the platform to study businesses operating in diverse cultural contexts and travel to new continents, connect with peers from dozens of countries. The third thing I really wanted to highlight about the curricular experience at Yale SOM is the heart of your leadership training, and it's an innovative and rigorous core curriculum. So hopefully you're really getting a sense for how Yale SOM values our connection and integration across the campus and across the world. This is really done with a clear objective to create conditions that you can learn and practice leadership competencies that will prepare you for a business environment for many years to come. As I mentioned, our integrated curriculum is another facet of this effort, and is really designed to enable you to be a leader who sees and understands the issues through many lenses. Most business schools seem to teach a core MBA curriculum organized by disciplines and in silos. We've developed an integrated core curriculum really based on organizational perspectives, which makes us different. So here's what I mean by that. The courses that are at the heart of our core curriculum are called organizational perspectives, because they look how organization work through the lens of various constituencies. The customer, the investor, the executive, you can see they're all up here, and so on. In addition, the courses approach organizational challenges by drawing on multiple academic disciplines at once. For example, sourcing and managing funds is co-taught and covers functions such as accounting, finance, operations, and strategy. So these core courses are linked together to form a seamless whole, really. And the faculty who teach in the core work together and sometimes weave a single case study through 2 or more courses to really demonstrate how a particular issue can affect different aspects of an organization and it can be viewed from different perspectives. Again, this approach to the MBA core curriculum is unique to Yale. It's more dynamic learning environment. It's really reflective of the skills you'll execute in real world situations. So we're very proud of that. So getting down to the nuts and bolts of the application process, on this slide, you'll see the components of the Yale SOM MBA application as opposed to the Master's in Asset Management application that I showed you earlier. And some of these, again, there's nothing too out of the box here. You'll realize by looking at this, you'll see some are familiar with, things that you'll see from other schools. And some are unique to SOM. I've also included our application deadlines and release dates in case you have questions about the timing of your application and our review process. So we have, as opposed to the Master's in Asset Management program that has 1 application round, the MBA program has 3 rounds of applications, the first of which is coming right up at September 10th. So that's next week. So just kind of cherry picking 2 aspects of the application, 2 application components that are unique to Yale and really serve as a nice reflection of some of the things the admissions committee cares about during the evaluation process. The first is our essay question, and the second is our behavioral assessment. Both programs have both essays and behavioral assessments, so this will probably apply to both. One recent change to the MBA application is the addition of new essay prompts. We require only 1 essay, but now you have a couple of topics to choose from. And each one of these presents the opportunity to tell the committee something that really matters, tell them about something that really matters to you. I can touch on how these topics, collectively illustrate how they're parts of a whole and how they're connected to our mission and values, and how the prompts really help us to understand who you are and what's meaningful to you. This set of prompts is reflective on what we value as a community at Yale, and it's really important to us. Yale SOM's mission is to educate leaders for business and society. So we want to bring people into our community who care about making an impact. These tend to be people who are self-reflective, who learn from experience, and who really see something through, even when it's not easy. We like to hear about that. Secondly, these prompts give us 3 slightly different, though potentially overlapping opportunities to show us how you've approached something of real importance in your life. And it's that approach, most of all, that we're really looking to understand. We believe past behaviors, how you've learned from and responded to past experience, are really a good predictor of your future as a Yale community member and alumni. So I'd like to, when you're talking golden tickets here, I'd like to offer just a little advice about the essay. It may seem obvious to some, but to someone who's read applications for 12 years, you'd be amazed at how people really veer from what their original intent is. This is going to sound crazy, but the goal is not to stand out here. Don't worry about being memorable or unique. The goal is to be genuine, human, and use this as an opportunity to really speak in your own voice about something that's meaningful in your life. So don't try to game the system. Just tell us about what makes you you. We're not making value judgments on the type of commitment or community or challenge that you choose to talk about. We care most about how you've approached this thing that really matters deeply to you. Whatever essay, whatever topic you choose, you should be specific and detailed in describing your approach, behaviors, and your actions. And your story doesn't really have to be tied up neatly in an ending. Give the challenge example. You know, it's with intention. We don't ask for a challenge that you have overcome. We want to know how you've faced something hard. Consider the essay as basically an opportunity to tell us something that isn't already evident or explored in the rest of your application materials. Some of you, it might make sense to expand on and back things up from your professional life. And others may choose to focus on something in your personal life that we wouldn't otherwise learn about you. But this serves to inform who you are and the events that have helped shape you. We see both all the time, and we value both. I would also like to make one final note about the optional information section of the application. Most candidates do not need to complete this section, and that is just fine. However, if you do need to use this section and answer to address any unanswered questions or provide some context to some aspect of your candidacy, this is the best place to do it. If you feel that your application is complete without it, do not feel like you have to fill it out. So the other thing I just want to quickly address is the behavioral assessment as well. This is also offered on the asset management application, so this applies to both programs. This is an element of the application that is unique to Yale SOM. We've collaborated with ETS. That's the managing group that developed the GRE and the TOEFL exams to create a behavioral assessment, which measures a set of interpersonal and intrapersonal competencies associated with business school success. More specifically, the behavioral assessment is a non-cognitive assessment, and it provides an additional data point on a candidate's ability to be successful in the Yale SOM curriculum. With this additional information, the tool can sometimes provide the community with the confidence to kind of lean in for candidates without the strongest academic history, but who nonetheless have what it takes to succeed in the classroom and who will undoubtedly make significant contributions to our community. So how do you take the behavioral assessment? The assessment is an online forced choice module that takes about 20 minutes to complete and should be completed in a single sitting rather. You do not need to do anything in advance to prepare for it. Nor does it require any knowledge or background. To be clear, the assessment alone will not be the deciding factor for admission, but it can provide a valuable information when it's used in context with other elements of an application. So why is this important? if we limit ourselves to people who are only excelling in the GMAT or GRA or undergraduate GPA, we may miss out on candidates with extraordinary professional experience or personal backgrounds that would really add vital perspectives in the classroom. At the same time, it's our responsibility to ensure that we bring students into the program who will succeed in the classroom, and we don't want to set students up for failure. The behavioral assessment gives us just an additional piece of information to use in assessing who will perform effectively in the curriculum, specifically by helping us predict who will perform better than their academic history would suggest. So let's see. So as with the Master's in Asset Management program mentioned earlier in the presentation, I've included the general mailbox for the MBA program. Please reach out here if you should have any specific questions for the MBA team or the application process, like the Master's in Asset Management. There's a full team of people who are very well educated in the program and will answer you promptly. And I'd just like to wrap up by saying I would also encourage you to visit the websites of both the Master's in Asset Management and MBA programs. Both programs host many admissions Q&As regularly that you can participate in. And there are many events you can register for and to learn even more about both programs and really what it's like to be a student at Yale. So again, I thank you so much for having me today. I'm really honored to be here. And that is, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. There we go. And I will hand it back over to the group.
All right. Thank you so much, Julie, about the presentation. About the MBA and also School of Management. I know there are a lot of questions already at the chat box, but we have one